Dillian the Body Snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Okay, so I'm catching up on all the boxing news after a couple of days away. I explained why in the previous video. And of course, I've seen Michael Benson, editor for Talk Sport, has put out a very short video clip of Deontay Wilder, reaffirming his beliefs that Tyson Fury did in fact cheat. Now, who interviewed him, where this clip came from, I have absolutely no idea. At a guess, I'll probably imagine it's one of his twerk army, one of the Wildettes. They're one of the many yes men who just love Deontay Wilder, will throw their own dignity, including their own genitals, under the bus in favour of Deontay Wilder. They're perfectly okay with the fact that he wants to be pregnant. In fact, they probably want to be the one to get him pregnant. They're okay with that their guy twerks every 30 seconds. Hey, what can you do? But ultimately, where it came from, as I said, I couldn't tell you. Now, within this very short clip, it's only about a minute or two long, linked to it in the description box, he does say how Tyson Fury, he had floppy gloves, Mark Breland threw in the towel, and of course, his water was spiked, he was drugged. Now, I suppose in brief, the best way I could probably really kind of sum it up is, if you were spiked, why did you pass VADA? That would be the first one. If Tyson Fury had something in his gloves, and the gloves were floppy and everything, then how did they get passed by the Nevada State Athletic Commission? How did your own manager, trainer, JD's, who was overseeing Tyson Fury, get his hands wrapped and gloved up? How come he didn't see it? How come the referee, when Tyson Fury got to the ring, didn't notice anything? And then, of course, the Nevada State Athletic Commission, who get the gloves and the wraps after the fight, also didn't spot anything. The world is just one big hater of Deontay Wilder, I guess, right? And also for Mark Breland to throw in the towel. Mark Breland, who's been in your corner for 12 years, threw in the towel in favour of a Brit. Good one. Good one. And if somehow Mark Breland did have a bit of a problem with Wilder, think about it. He's been there for 12 years. Quite clearly, Deontay Wilder mistreats those around him then, right? If Mark Breland is pushed to the point where he's going to throw in the towel on somebody where he's been with him since pro debut 12 years ago, going to throw in the towel, clearly he was being mistreated. Okay? And if anybody believes in Deontay Wilder, I don't know what to tell you. I really don't know what to tell you. You are beyond help. You really are. Now, the gloves, the floppy gloves, again, him and a member of it and various members of his twerk army, for some reason, they can't distinguish the first fight from the second fight. Yes, Tyson Fury is wearing green gloves in both fights. But look at the tape colour. The tape is totally different. In the first fight, where the gloves are floppy, oh, by the way, and again, I've explained this 100 times already, but, I'll just say it in brief now. Tyson Fury used Everlast MX gloves with horsehair filling. Gloves that Team Wilder sanctioned and the California State Athletic Commission sanctioned also. Okay, yes, when they get moisture in them, they do tend to distort. They do tend to get a little bit floppy. Look at Muhammad Ali. Look at quite a few fighters who wear Everlast MX gloves filled with horsehair. It happens. But even then, what's that got to do with a rematch? Because after the first fight, was it that Deontay Wilder said, you've got pillows for fists, that's why I was able to walk through your punches and yada, yada, yada. Oh, okay, so what's the problem then? What's the problem? What's that got to do with a rematch? What's floppy gloves got to do with the fact that Tyson Fury, let's have it right, fucked you up? What's that got to do with anything? It's got nothing to do with it. It's got absolutely nothing to do with it. This man is confused between the first fight and the second fight. It's amazing, isn't it? Amazing. Spiked water, yet somehow managed to pass VADA. Well, how did you manage to pass VADA, Deontay? Do you have therapeutic use exemptions from VADA? Because you have so many surgeries on your hand and your arms, Mr. Robocop hand, where he keeps on saying how he's got so much power, and Tyson Fury doesn't have any kind of power, but he has his natural ability because he's a clean athlete. He's got nothing on his rap sheet like Tyson Fury has. Yes, Tyson Fury does have a 2-year backdated ban. Again, it wasn't for Klitschko. So many people seem to think that it was for Klitschko. It wasn't. It was actually in between Chisora and Christian Hammer. It had nothing to do with Klitschko, okay? But anyway, so Tyson Fury is a known PED cheat, whereas he's a clean fighter. Well, according to Shannon Briggs, you're the dirtiest bitch in the whole of boxing. Why is that? Does he and other people know that you get therapeutic use exemptions? Because you have so much surgery, you've got so much juice running through your body to help aid recovery that VADA can't do anything about it. Why? Because the doctor signed it off. Is that why? Mr. Robocop hand. He's got more metal in his hand than damn Terminator and a T-1000. Maybe that's why you got a bit of power in your hand, right? Or could it be because you just fight bums? Maybe that's the reason, right? But you passed VADA, right? So either you do have therapeutic use exemptions or nothing was shown up. And if nothing was shown up, quite clearly you wasn't spiked. Because as of yet, Wilder hasn't proved anything. He hasn't proved it. Now onto the gloves. How can JD's, your own trainer and manager, be in the changing room with Tyson Fury and yet you say somehow he loaded his gloves or whatever else? How is that even possible? How is it even possible? Mark Brennan would throw in the towel. Yeah, Mark Brennan, who's been in your corner 12 years since pro debut, he's going to throw in the towel on you, on somebody who pays his wages. Listen, man, anybody who believes in Deontay Wilder, I don't know what to tell you. I've never known a man in the history, not just heavyweight boxing, but boxing in general, have I heard such excuses in all my life. This guy is such a whingy, crying little bitch. He really is. And people go, yeah, Deontay, yeah, see Tyson Fury, he's a cheat. Yeah, we back you up. Why is that? Why is that? What is wrong with the mentality of so many people? But Wilder can say all this because he has a cult following, and that's like what they are. They're a cult following who will believe anything and everything that he says. And he has said so much crap, that they give him a pass for it all the time. Yet they want to have a go at Adrian Broner for fake kissing Gervonta Davis or Oscar De La Hoya for wearing some lingerie or whatever else. But yet Wilder, who can't stop himself twerking and says how he wants to be pregnant, they're okay with it. I mean, talk about being two-faced. They're okay with the fact that their own countryman in Mark Breland was fired and accused of spiking his water and throwing in the towel prematurely in round number 7. They're okay with this. Mark Breland, a American boxing legend. They're okay with this, yeah? What morons. What morons. He's played you off as the mugs that you are. And that's exactly what he's done, hasn't he? Anyway, link to it in the description box. Go give it a watch for yourself. Deontay, trust me, man. Fury did not cheat. Sure, he used some dirty tactics. Granted, he got you in headlocks or anything. But ultimately, you fight back. That's what you do. And Mark Breland throwing in the towel in round number 7, he should have thrown it in a couple of rounds beforehand. So if he genuinely didn't like you, well, quite clearly, he was letting you take a bit more punishment. At the end of the day, Wilder, you got exposed. You've been a loss waiting to happen for a long, long time. I've said it for a long time. The moment that you actually step up, you are going to get pummeled. And that's exactly what happened. A pillow-fisted Tyson Fury beat the shit out of you. And you can't accept it. Why? Because you've got the heart of a female. That's what it is. No offense to any females out there, but you know what it is I'm talking about. You're very emotional. Wilder is very emotional. Looks to blame everybody else. Brings in or promotes Mallet Scott, a guy who, in my opinion, and it's pretty obvious, look at it, dived when he fought Deontay Wilder when he got hit on the gloves. That's his new trainer, him, that guy there, who's exaggerating shit on the pads and whatever else. That's his trainer. Good one. Absolute good one. Anyway, Wilder, you're a prat. And if anybody really believes anything that Wilder says, jog on, please. Please stay away from boxing, okay? Because you're not a boxing fan. You're really not. Even Jamal Charlo, one of his fellow PBC fighters, said, ain't no way that Tyson Fury cheated. Again, stop getting the first fight and the second fight confused. I've already told you why the Everlast MS gloves flop around, but that has no bearing on the rematch because he didn't wear them in the rematch. He just didn't. Stop looking for excuses. You're just a bitch, Wilder. Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up, subscribe. Catch you on the next video.